You couldn't walk in my shoes. You wouldn't know what to do. Describe me and you. Ooh.
1, 2, 3, action.
I'm Roblo, the star, and I present to you, You Couldn't Walk in My Shoes.
I'm Ren. You couldn't walk in my shoes. All right, so I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my testimony. I was probably about 14 when I started having symptoms of what I found out later was actually a life-threatening illness. The only way that I could continue to live was to have a liver transplant. And it wasn't very likely actually because they want you to be sick enough but not too sick, so it's like I only had this one symptom and they didn't really think that I was that sick that I should have it just yet when there's so many people, there's thousands of people that are on the list, But man, long story short, God thought I was worth saving, so he gave me another chance at life. I had a transplant back in 2000. But the crazy thing about it is that 3 years later, the disease came back and it attacked the new liver. And so the first time around, I was a kid. I didn't understand the magnitude of what I was going through and all that, came with it. But this time around, I was a grown woman. I had a child, I had responsibilities, and I knew it was gonna be harder. And so it just kind of messed with my head. I mean, I really went into depression. I went down a path that was just cycling out of control. I ended up in a life of crime, ended up getting convicted and sentenced to 4 years in a penitentiary for a felony that I committed, and just like everything was just going backwards. And it was crazy as the doctor inside of the penitentiary told me that you're gonna die here. And I don't know how you feel today, but I'm still here, and that's only because of God, man. But yeah, it was harder. This time I had to go through about 20 years of symptoms, like a little over 19 and a half years of symptoms before I could get this transplant. So it was a lot tougher. But I'm here today, I got it, and I'm grateful to just be alive. But on top of that, I didn't just stop at, having my health back. I wanted to reverse the stigma that's attached to being a felon. And so I stand today not only as a felon, because that's not going away unless I get it expunged, but not only do I stand as a felon, I stand as a college graduate with a master's degree. I stand as the founder of a nonprofit organization, and I stand as a youth pastor. And I know that if I can do it, the next person can overcome whatever they're going through. But still, don't change that you probably couldn't walk a mile in my shoes.
I'm Veronica. You couldn't walk a day in my shoes. Being a teenage parent, everybody underestimates you. I never thought I'd be able to graduate, but I did. I raised my child. He's a great guy. But the underestimation came from dropping out of school, getting back in school, going back to get an education. I did dabble in a bit of crime there for a couple of years, only because I was bored. It's not really because I needed to do anything else, but just I was bored. So that's what I decided to do with my time. As I got older, I decided that I was gonna go back to school. After the crime spree and all of that and being a very upstanding citizen now, I went back to school to get my training and become an educator in food. In 2008, 2009, I was told by Ollie Gates that women do not cook in my kitchen. After that, motivation took over. So what I decided to do was become a pit master. I mastered that craft. I went to some very successful white pit masters who taught me everything I needed to know. And right now I stand as one of 3 only Black pit masters in Kansas City. So, coming to say, you couldn't walk a mile in my shoes.
You couldn't walk in my shoes. You wouldn't know what to do. Describe me and you. You couldn't walk in my shoes. You wouldn't know what to do. Describe me and you.
I am Ronnita Char, CEO of 31 Reasons, and you could never walk in my shoes. They booted. So, where do I begin? I can start off when I met my dad. He picked me up from my mom. She switched pimps. He came looking for her, tied her on a pole, and came and took me, went to Catholic Charities, and my grandma sent for me. I came back to Kansas City from South Dakota. Came back, stayed with my aunties, went back and forth to different households, you know, type of old school family. If you don't have anywhere to go or, you know, the brother was in jail, then the auntie would take over, that type of thing. In that, I encountered sexual molestation, just not feeling like I had a place to belong. Fast forward, I grow up, I get pregnant in high school twice. I still graduate though. You know, I actually graduate a little bit early than what I'm supposed to do. I get raped again, and my dad comes to my mom's house and he beats me. Fast forward to a full adult, over 21. I did have more kids. I have 6 kids, plus 3 that were in foster care. There was my relative that I took care of. We moved to Leavenworth, started over. I got an education. I majored in political science and journalism. I went to the NAU modules where I fought for Sierra Leone. I was on the Community Commission Board where I merged and draft resolutions for Sierra Leone when I was in the NAU modules. While I was doing this, I had 5 kids. I also was in musicals, All Shook Up, Rent, Chicago. Fast forward to now, a bad one, therapy. I learned to do shadow work. I learned to look within myself. I forgive and forgave everybody that has ever done anything to me. And actually, everybody that has molested to me, the universe and God made it to where I seen them and they were able to apologize, and I'm okay. Now I own a business, got 6 kids, looking good. I'm blessed and highly favored. And you can try to walk in my shoes, but doubt you can do that. You just can't.
I'm Tyrel. I know for a fact you couldn't walk in my shoes. So when I turned 25, 2017, my first child passed away. He was stillborn. Her placenta had ripped from the wall, cutting off his oxygen. It was one night after we got off work. You know, the mother, she came to me, she said, he ain't been moving. And you know, this was about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And knowing my son at this time, she was 9 months old, so he's ready to go. And she's like, he's not moving. And I'm like, what you mean he ain't moving? And so she called her mama because of course, you know, we need that, you know, that extra advice on what we should do. So mama said, eat some chocolate and drink a Coca-Cola. You know, that way that'll give him some energy. So she ate the Hershey's, drank the Coca-Cola, still nothing. Me personally, I didn't feel all right within myself. So I said, well, let's go to the hospital. You know, we had been going to a different hospital, you know, for doctors and things like that, but we stayed in the inner city, so St. Luke's was closer, right there on the plaza. So I said, okay, cool, well, let's go to St. Luke's. We go to St. Luke's, we get checked in, the nurse comes in, she does the ultrasound. So again, yes, this is my first child, but I've been going to every single doctor's appointment. So I know what it sounds like when a doctor hooks up that ultrasound and you're listening for the heartbeat. All we heard was water. At that moment, I knew something was wrong because she said, let me go out. She ended up coming back with another nurse. Might have been the head nurse of the shift, I don't know. She, you know, plugged the ultrasound back up again, put some more of that cream on it. Still, all we heard was water. They both left out. Maybe about 3, 4 doctors came in. By this point, you know, my son's mother, she's crying. I'm trying to keep her together because I already know what's going on. So we know what comes after that. Not only did she, you know, had to push out the stillborn, but, you know, we had to do a funeral. You know, and so that's where my word pain comes in at, because how do you, as a 25-year-old man, when your brain is just completing as an adult, have to bury your child? His name was Island. His name is Island. He's still here. His spirit is here. His name is Island Zaire Davis. 11/11/17 is when this happened. He was supposed to be born in December. We were a month away. When he came out, he was fully developed. Looked just like me as a kid. I'm talking about big head, big ears, forehead, all of that. Like you could see from the 3D ultrasound pictures. When he balled his fist up, he had a skinny arm like mine. There's no way of doubt about it. I was his father. Like, you know, so after that happened, I spiraled because now I'm in resentment from God. Why did you make this happen to me? Why me? I do everything right. I come from a Christian family, born and raised. Here I am. I'm having fun at my son's baby shower. We are prepared. We got clothes, shoes, everything you need. You know, it's like I'm here, I'm active, and now I'm going through this. So I wanted nothing to do with God because I was that upset. And once I pushed God away, I allowed everyone else to come in. So now I'm getting support. I'm getting support from the people who I thought were my friends. You see what I'm saying? Like a friend is not somebody that's gonna help you destroy yourself. A friend is gonna be the one that say, hey man, you tripping. Come on, get up and go. Let's go laugh. Let's go get some food. Let's go do something positive. But instead, I just kept painting myself with alcohol, with drugs. I was addicted to cocaine for a few years. Yes, grateful I overcame it, but it was like, why me? Why did I have to go through this? And now I understand I had to go through that so I could be right here in front of this camera telling you that yes, you will go through some hard times in life, but all you need to do is get that support system, get that community. I'm talking about get them people away from you that mean you no good. I am blessed to say now I have 4 children walking on this earth, the smartest children you can have, beautiful, and I'm good. You know, like if I walk past you in a grocery store, you wouldn't think I used to be a cocaine addict. You wouldn't think I was in the dirtiest house parties there is to be looking for something to heal my pain, because that's all I was running away from was my pain. That's all I was drinking for was because of the pain. I wanted to numb my pain. And it was at the moment where I had to wake up, look in the mirror and say, man, what's wrong with you? This ain't how your life's supposed to be going. You got all these talents, all these gifts. You need to put that to use and put that down. And with the help of the Lord, who I ran back to, had his arms open had his arms open for me, allowed me to come back into the kingdom. I would say that my life was like the prodigal son. You know, I was out there and I lost it all. And I came back and he was right there ready and he received me and I'm receiving him and I'm giving him praise and he raining blessings down every day. And thank you, God, hallelujah, I've been set free and I got children to take care of.
You couldn't walk in my shoes. You wouldn't know what to do. Despite me and you. You couldn't walk in my shoes. You wouldn't know what to do. Despite me and you.
Go 1, 2, 3, action.
I'm Alma. You could never walk in my shoes. As I said, I'm Alma. I beat suicide. It was nobody but the Lord on my side. What made me overcome this was the night that they allowed my son around COVID time to come in my room. When you on a psychic ward, you can't have no visitors. They allowed my baby boy to enter my room. At that moment, I knew Alma had to get her life together. I knew I mattered, but at the moments and what I was going through, I didn't feel like I mattered. I didn't have family supporting me. We did more of beating one another up more than pouring into each other. I had to really get a personal relationship with the Lord. It was me and him in the same room. He said,
I give you this chance. You don't take your own life. You don't get that type of power. When he allowed me to know that face to face, to tell me, hey, you get to choose this time. Sometimes you don't get choices. You understand what I'm saying? But in this time and moment, I got a choice. And from that day that I made that choice to get my life together, yes, I went through counseling, I got therapies, I take medication, I do whatever Alma has to do to keep moving forward. But the most important thing throughout all of those things and situations that I have to walk with and deal with is that God talks with me. He walks with me. He tells me that I am his own. So I don't get that type of right to take and have that power to take my life. Because again, we're all here on borrowed time. So with the time that the Lord allows me to be here on this earth, I'm gonna walk it. He's allowed me to be not only a great mother that the enemy wanted me to see and act like I wasn't, and I was. He allowed me to also be a great grandmother, Grandma Kitty. So with that being said, I have something to live for. I matter. And if anyone else is out there that is dealing with suicide, feeling like you don't matter, or feeling like life is just overwhelming, you look the devil in the face, and whether that devil sometime is yourself, because we don't want to look at it like that. You tell it can go bye-bye, because you matter and you are somebody, and that you can continue to live this life, because we are somebody's testimony. You understand what I'm saying? And what we go through is not for us, it is for someone else. So keep moving, keep pushing, keep doing what you must do for you to live, for you to have a flourishing life. It don't matter what it looked like to someone else. Someone is going to give their opinions of you. So what? You know the opinions of yourself. So you look in the mirror daily, whether those affirmations you telling yourself that you are someone, you are somebody. Be who God created you to be. Don't be like nobody else. People are going to say what they want to say about you. But guess what? I am free from suicide. I count on the Lord moment by moment, day by day, whatever that takes and what that looks like for me. It is all between me and him. So if no one out there has a personal relationship with the Lord or with God, I encourage you to get one, because that's the best thing that I've ever done in my life. Thank you for listening to my story.
My name is Charlize, and you couldn't walk a mile in my shoes. I really don't even know where to start, but just from the beginning, my life has been very unstable. I went to about 18 different schools throughout my life, 4 high schools, and throughout it all, I was not only physically and mentally abused by my mother, I was sexually assaulted by family members. And even with all that, I knew that God was still by me the whole time. So I was able to finish high school, and when I did, a year later, I was pregnant and I had my first child. During that time, I was living in a maternity shelter. So I had nothing, I had nobody, nowhere to go. On my daughter's birth certificate, it says that she was born in a maternity shelter. So through that all, I just kept God by my side. The maternity shelter was a wholesome Christian family. I would go to church with them every Sunday and everything like that. And about a year later, I met back up with a guy that I really liked throughout high school. And we ended up getting married, but because I didn't know how to receive or give love, it quickly ended in divorce. So it took me about 3 years to really get over that and forgive myself and get out of depression. But something sparked in me that said I needed to do something for my children. And at the time I had 2 kids by then. And so I went to hair school and I was able to obtain my cosmetology license, and it wasn't easy though. I was catching the bus back and forth. Once I got my license, 10 miles I had to catch the bus to work. And one day I was assaulted on the bus stop downtown. And so my cousin decided to collect GoFundMe account. And for some reason, whatever reason, she built up animosity towards me and she kept the GoFundMe amount. But when the owner of the salon found out about that, she ended up giving me a Benz, an E-Class. And so I was driving those same streets that I walked and those same streets that I caught the bus, now in my Benz. And so now I can proudly say that I'm the owner of a salon suite, and I work for a nonprofit organization where I'm able to talk to children and encourage them to get past everything that they go through. So even though life is sweet now, you couldn't walk a mile in my shoes.
Thank you.
You couldn't walk in my shoes. You wouldn't know what to do. Describe me and you. You couldn't walk in my shoes. You wouldn't know what to do. Describe me and you.
I'm Rosae and you couldn't walk in my shoes. So around 2018, I was dating someone, and for about that whole year, it was emotional and domestic abuse happening. Of course, I was fighting back. You know, I had to fight back, but it ended up making me lose a tooth. I had to get that replaced, which is a lot of money. Also with that, I just lost myself in that whole process. I was not gaining weight, I wasn't eating, I was smoking a lot of weed. And that was basically it. I was into the wrong things during that time. So it took about that whole year, me just spending it by myself where I felt very alone. After that point, I was just praying a lot. I remember just praying a lot. And then I left. I just kind of ran away from everybody that I once knew, once used to know. Family, my brothers, like nobody heard from me. And the whole time I was just at my mom's house, you know, getting myself back together. And I had to find love within myself and realize who I was, because I lost myself. And that was during the time, that my brother was killed. So God called me home anyway. So it was just a reason for everything that was going on. There was a reason to it all. And when I got home, my whole life changed around from fast money, because I used to strip, from fast money and it going fast as it come, to getting a real job and really getting my mental together to really be like, working a 9 to 5 is okay. It's not gonna come as fast, but it's okay. But, you know, I just had to I had to lose myself to find myself and really become who I am. And so with all that being said, you can do it too. And I want everybody to keep that faith, keep praying every day, and find yourself and know who you are. Anytime that you walk in a room, nobody can tell you anything, because you that girl, and you him too. But yeah, thank y'all, and you couldn't walk in my shoes.
1, 2, 3, action.
I'm Yani, and you couldn't walk in my shoes. A couple years ago, I went to work, woke up thinking I was gonna have the perfect day ever, get ready to celebrate my birthday. Kiss my baby, go to work, I get blew out of a truck. Long story short, they told me it was gonna take me about a year or so to start back walking. I managed to overcome that. Started back walking probably within like 9 months, thanks to my friends and family. Had to overcome depression because of the disability that I ended up with. I wasn't able to use my hands, my arms, wasn't able to get up and cook, do nothing for myself. And I managed to overcome that through a lot of prayer, a lot of keep moving, never stopping, and just being resilient at the end of the day. I'm Yani, and you couldn't walk in my shoes.
You couldn't walk in my shoes. You wouldn't know what to do. Describe me and you.